Deep in the heart of Sri Lanka, you'll find the sprawling ruins of an ancient capital, Polonnaruwa. But these aren't just stones and monuments. They're the echoes of a powerful kingdom, a lost metropolis that holds some absolutely incredible secrets about government, art, and even science.
And maybe the most surprising secret of all is hiding right here, inside the walls of what used to be a hospital. It's a discovery that connects this 12th century city to the cutting edge of modern medicine. So how on earth could a civilization from 900 years ago have that kind of knowledge? Well, the answer is in the very foundation of how this metropolis was designed.
A city this grand doesn't just spring up out of nowhere. It takes some serious, meticulous organization, and that always starts at the very top. In Polonnaruwa, we basically have a literal blueprint for how power was structured, and it's preserved in the stone of the king's royal court. So how exactly do you run a massive kingdom almost 1,000 years ago? Well, the answer isn't buried in some dusty old texts. It's carved right into the stone pillars of the council chamber, leaving us a perfect map of their entire government.
This is what is so incredible about this place. Archaeologists didn't have to guess. The seating chart for the entire royal council was literally inscribed on the pillars. Can you imagine that? It's like finding the original floor plan for a modern parliament. It gives us this undeniable glimpse into a highly organized political machine.
And just look at how detailed this system was. At the top, you've got the king, sitting on a majestic stone lion throne. But below him, it wasn't just some simple chain of command. No, they had a commander-in-chief for the military, a chief scribe for all the administration, and even what is basically a chairman of the Chamber of Commerce to manage the economy. This was not a primitive kingdom. This was a sophisticated, multifaceted government.
Okay, so let's move from the political heart of Polonnaruwa to its spiritual soul. The city wasn't just a center of power. It was a place of profound faith and absolutely breathtaking artistry. And you can see that perfectly in the Polonnaruwa Vatadage, or the stupa house. The Vatadage is just an architectural masterpiece. Its circular design is really unique, built specifically to shelter a secret stupa in the center under a roof. As you walk up to it, you're greeted by these serene Buddha statues at 4 different entrances, and the stairways are flanked by some of the most intricate guard stones from this entire period of Sri Lankan history. Every single element was crafted with so much purpose and artistry. But it's the little details here that tell such a fascinating story. Take a look at the moonstone. That's the carved slab at the entrance. In the earlier Anuradhapura era, it had 4 animals, including the bull. But here in Polonnaruwa, the bull is gone. Why? Well, because the bull is sacred in Hinduism, and having it on the ground where people walked was seen as disrespectful. So the artists of Polonnaruwa actually moved the bull carvings up to a higher position on the side of the stairs. It's a subtle change, but it's a really powerful example of cultural and religious evolution, captured right there in stone.
All right, so we've seen their sophisticated government and their evolving art. But now we come to the most astonishing secret of Polonnaruwa, and it takes us right back to that puzzle from the beginning. This ancient city was a hub for scientific innovation that is, frankly, pretty hard to believe. Our story takes us to the Allahana Parivena, which was a large monastic complex. And the definitive proof that this specific building was a hospital is right here. A stone medicinal trough, probably used for herbal baths. So we know this was a place for healing. But the truly groundbreaking discovery was found buried nearby. During some routine excavations, a collection of surgical instruments was unearthed. And I'm not talking about a few crude tools. This was a sophisticated kit. Okay, get ready to see something really remarkable. Just look at this. These are 900-year-old surgical scissors found at the site. Compared to a modern pair, the design is fundamentally the same. You've got the handles, the pivot, the blades. These weren't crude tools. They were designed for tasks like cutting bandages, dressings, maybe even tissue. And it doesn't stop there. Here are ancient forceps. Their delicate shape is almost identical to modern ones, designed for gently handling tissue during an operation. These were instruments of incredible precision. And finally, the scalpel blade. Its shape is just unmistakable. This is the fundamental tool of a surgeon, used to make that first clean incision. The resemblance to a modern scalpel is absolutely stunning. This is the proof. They weren't just thinking about medicine, they were actually performing surgery. 900 years. Let that number really sink in. These instruments predate the European Renaissance. They existed centuries before many of the so-called modern medical advancements we learn about. This find gives us physical evidence that an advanced form of surgery was being practiced right here. So you see, Polonnaruwa is not just a city that's frozen in time. Its story of incredible organization, thoughtful design, and shocking innovation continues to resonate today, providing lessons that stretch right across the centuries. The city's golden age was way back in the 12th century. It then took hundreds of years, until 1982, for its global importance to be formally recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But the story isn't over. In 2019, a new urban development plan was launched. And guess what they're using for inspiration? The very same principles of thoughtful design from their ancient blueprint. And that brings us to our final thought. From its meticulously planned government to its stunning artistic expression and its almost unbelievable medical science, Polonnaruwa proves that innovation isn't just a modern concept. It really makes you wonder, what other secrets from our past are just waiting to be rediscovered?